Hey guys, so I'm going to do a little bit of Total War Warhammer again, and I'm going to do something a little bit different this time, just to play with a couple of things, see what you like, see what you don't like, as the majority of the vote in other games you want to see, almost all of it was for Total War Warhammer, so I'm going to play a little bit and we'll see. One of the options that I could do with this game is I could go through the quest battles, and I'm going to do one of them now. I'm going to do one of Karl Franz Quest Battles, one of the slightly harder ones, against Norscan, which is actually one of the new factions coming out, but right now it's a very basic Norscan army, just in the game itself already. And whenever you're doing one of these quest battles, you can usually see the original army you're going to face, but you can never see the reinforcements expected. So there will be more coming than what you can see here. At the moment it looks like a pretty straightforward army. And I'm going to be playing on hard mode, and just to give you the fluff here, the coast of Nordland has been ravaged by Norse raiders, but no longer. Franz knows this is a test of his sovereignty, that the unconvinced electors will be watching and even hoping he fails, so he must face the Norsemen and be victorious. They will come in waves, like the very sea itself. The army is already going to be pre-created, because I'm doing it in the battle screen, not in the campaign, so it isn't an army that I would necessarily make, and I will be playing on hard mode. I'll let Karl do his thing when he's talking, and I'll just turn down the volume so it doesn't double again, hopefully. And then, hopefully, we'll get to see a battle. Later on I'll also do a replay and see which form I prefer, and which form you guys prefer to see. After that, eventually, I'll put a vote out, so you can say, either we want more battles, we want more replay battles, or we want more campaign. Whatever you decide, that's what I will set up for the future. Anyway, let's have a go with Karl against the Chaos. In terms of what you can see here as well, halberdiers are good for fighting big guys and defending against the charge. Spearmen are also good for defending against the charge. The swordmen are good against the, well, basically the barbarians. Crossbows are good in general. The gunners are good against armor. The Reichland knights are good for charging in the flank and in the side, and the two pistoliers, I don't like them very much, but we'll see. The mortar basically just causes problems for the opposition formation, so that's going to be what you have to keep in mind while looking at this army. I'll let Karl do his thing first.
Hear me now, brave men! Brave Reichlanders, hear me! The celestial wizards read the portents true. Norse raiders land on Nordland's shores. We have marched many miles, but there is no distance so great that I would not gladly march it to face this, our ultimate foe. I have refused the honor of wielding the blade of our forebears thus far. I was not worthy. But should we survive this day, should we drive the ruinous tribes back across the sea, then, with your blessing, I will pick up the Reichland runefang and use it to bleed our foes, to carve my way through Sigmar's enemies. Are you with me, men of the Empire? For when the Northmen come, they will attack hard, as their despicable gods demand. We must be ready to push them back, thrust them into the sea, in defense of the Empire!
Alright, thanks Karl. Alright, first of all, let's have a look at what we've actually got in this army and have a look at some models. Starting with Karl himself. Where are you? There you are. So Karl is on his horse, and as you can see he's nice and colourful. He's a very good melee fighter. He's one of the best in the game, actually. The only one I'd say is maybe better is Grimgor, especially when you give him his flying mount, then he is a bit of a nightmare. Halberdiers are good against strong, big enemies, when they're charging at you, and they're good for taking down armor. So against Chaos, they're actually very useful. And we have some spearmen with shields. They're good for defending against the charge as well. We have anti-infantry, swordmen. They're not actually anti-infantry, but it's kind of their role. They fight infantry. They don't really have any outstanding skill. They're just kind of good at holding the line. The crossbowmen can shoot in an arc over the heads of their friends, so you don't need to put them in danger. But the handgunners, they unfortunately only shoot in a straight line, so you need to make sure they have a clear range on the opposition. The Reichsguard Knights are only really good for charging. They can't hold their own in a battle because they don't hold a sword, as you can see, so they do some damage in the charge using the lance, then you have to kind of pull them out, put them back in again. The Pistoliers are good if you can get them behind the enemy, though in this match mostly these are going to be useless guys, to be honest, because of the way I'm going to set up, as you'll see in a minute. And the mortar is mostly for disrupting enemy formation. It doesn't really do that much damage, though it is anti-infantry, so if it gets a good shot on an infantry piece, it will do some damage. And having a look at the opposition, at least the first wave of opposition, we've got some Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, and don't they look vicious. They're actually not really good in melee, but they are good at range, though they don't really have... They're not really in the right fight here, because I'm going to be able to deal with them from more range than they have. We have some Chaos Marauders, who are very basic infantry. They have no armor, they fall down pretty easily, to be honest. They're not even a match for human swordsmen, to be honest, though they can do a little bit of damage when they first come into a fight, so that is worth remembering, though in terms of their morale, they don't usually hang around long. Then we have some with great weapons, which are a little bit more damaging, so I need to make sure these guys don't come near my Reichsguard. Though if they're fighting swordsmen, for example, their great weapons are going to be kind of moot. Nothing nothing with armor on my side really at the moment. What else we got? We got more throwing axes, and we got the leader somewhere. Where's the leader? Here he is. And just what's his name? Well, his name is Alfred Oberson, but I don't remember what his role is. He's just he's a chosen warlord, I think he's called. I can't remember. But anyway, he's a fairly standard lord for the Chaos side. So first thing, whenever you're in a battle, survey what you've got. Right. I've got something really useful here. I've got a good little zone that I can use to put my gunmen on, and I can put some infantry in front so the gunmen can actually shoot over their heads. What else we got? Something similar here, though I'm not going to split up the army, so I'm going to be using this part of the land, I guess. So, for this first charge, I don't really need anything other than swordmen at the front, so we will do that. We'll have the spears and halberdiers at the side, ready to deal with the second wave if necessary. Let's get them closer than that. And I don't want anybody running down the enemy, not a single person here. They're going to hold the line as much as possible. And Karl Franz on his horse is going to join them in the middle here. And he's also going to hold the line. We'll have the Quarrelers in the back a little bit, because they can shoot over the enemy, and maybe a bit more forward than that actually. And we're not going to put them in skirmisher mode, because we don't want them to run away, and the gunners are going to be in front, and they should be able to shoot over their friends here. I hope. If I'm hitting my own boys though, then we know we did something wrong. I'm going to put them in guard mode though, just in case they do get attacked. The Reichsguard are also going to stand... In fact, I'm going to bring these back when I think about it even further. They're going to be out of position. I'm going to have to keep an eye on the second wave, but we'll keep them out of the way for now. And the Reichsguard as well. And mortar can go at the back here. And then our two Pistoliers can also stand out of the way, and they can hopefully do some flanking damage. Now, I'm not really happy with this setup, so I'm still going to play around with this a bit. In fact, I'm going to put the Reichsguard out of the way for now, because I'm not going to use them in the first wave. Not at all. So let's keep them out of the way, but we will use the Pistoliers. So we'll keep the Pistoliers maybe in the trees. Yeah. Sorry, it's taking me a long time to set up. Just thinking about it, that's all. And they should be hidden in the trees. Are they both hidden? No, they're not. No. One is, one isn't. Which one's hidden? That one isn't. There we go. Now they're both hidden. this little thing here, the eye, means that they can't be seen. So now the enemy are kind of forced into this zone of swordsmen here, and they should, even the Marauder horsemen should be in range to get hit by my parlors and hopefully the handgunners as well. Anyway, this battle, I haven't done it in a long while, so this may go badly, but hopefully I'll manage to finish it successfully. Alright, so let's see the mortar do some damage first of all to these unarmored men. Oof, look at that. This mortar can do damage to them indeed, actually. Victory is already within our grasp, and we've only fired the mortar so far. That's some damn good range on the handgunners. And we're going to focus fire with the quarrelers, not quarrelers, the crossbowmen as much as possible. I've been playing too much dwarves. Right, the handgunners should open fire now. There we go. We want to get rid of the horsemen as quickly as possible. We're not going to charge in this, we want to hold the formation. Kind of important here. Where our pistoliers? Oh yeah, they're in the trees. Our pistoliers can actually deal with these horsemen as well when I think about it. And that's not so good. The gunmen are shooting my crossbowmen at the moment. Deal with them. We're trying for flanking over here, which is fair. Just move my men into position to outflank them. And make sure those guys don't come back, gunners. Right, mortar. Certain people I don't really want them to hit. And if we bring in the pistoliers now, they can get rid of everything that's left. The swordsmen are holding the line, but they're doing not really as well as they could be, I guess. Well done, mortar. I could be using the Reichsguard here, I probably should have done, but like I said, it's been a little while since I've done this one. And they're going to come in a group of waves, which is really not good news for my boys. Pistoliers are doing some damage now. It's going to do some damage over here. Maybe bring in the Reichsguard as well. Make sure they don't come back. I'll come kill the guy. Hello. In skirmish mode, I don't want to get charged. Let's deal with these guys. Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, it's some withdrawals. That's not good news. Get off skirmish for a second. Let's go this way, actually. Right. That wasn't ideal. Let's put you back in formation. Let's get you guys getting rid of these. And right now... Are you fighting someone? No, you're not. Now we want the anti-big guys in the way, actually. So we're going to move the swordsman back in a moment. I'm going to get the pistoliers out of here as well. What are we actually facing here? Just more raiders? That's not so hard. just get rid of these. Make sure they're not coming back. Right, mortar, where can you hit? Try and wipe out some of these guys again. You knock out the leader. Oof, bye-bye. Gotta make sure that we're not in the way of anybody. So the race card ready. So you guys goofed up as well. Everyone's on fire at will as well, so I'm quite happy here just to let the guys come close and get shot. And the mortar's done most of the damage here already, so nothing to worry about really. Let's get a slightly better angle here as well. What I found though when you're doing this mission, it's really a good idea to hold this ground. There isn't really a better ground to hold. Right, let's put more of a range now. Sounds good to me. Even standing still, they're not very likely to stay, so take a charge there, get rid of the morale, come back out. Oops, I'm being attacked over here. Yes, I am. Look at that. Come back in skirmish mode. Then attacking me at an angle, but that's fine. You can shoot them in the back. It would really help if I actually paid attention to my right scout for a second. I'm going to turn and charge them. In fact, that might be enough. It will. Look at that. What a charge. Fall back. Just that one unit as well that's being fought here. Okay, they're going away. Good, they're trying to run away. Perfect time to charge him in the back. Some more enemy coming. What do we got this time then? Marauder horsemen, that's bad news. Gotta get the Reichsguard back into a safer position then, in that case, once we got rid of these marauders. May as well try and hit them with the mortar. Put you both in skirmishing mode. Ooh, shoot down there. I see. You're actually out of bullets. You get out of that one. Get them more from the house. Right, and as you can see, even when I haven't really been paying enough attention to what's going on, still managing to do quite a lot of damage to the enemy here. What have we got here? These marauders, a wizard, too much to deal with. Okay. Righto. In fact, no, we won't do that. For now, we'll keep chasing them down, so we'll use them in the flank in a second. That's at least the plan. And in fact, let's actually get some charges in this time. Because I think this is the last wave. We'll find out in a second though. So the swordsmen are basically here just to hold the line. We want the right guard knights coming back. Mortar. Mortar's now an infantry unit. Fine. Try and hit the wizard with the gunman. And not you. You two. Try and hit these guys. It's getting a little bit laggy and unresponsive here, and I may well be losing this now. This is kind of the problem when you're playing this game. If you lose track for a couple of seconds, it can really turn against you. And because of the way they managed to actually outmaneuver me, I'm in a bit of trouble here. The Reichsguard are going to be really important, so let's get them out. Getting rid of the wizard would be a really good idea. Trying to get Karl out because he's in trouble. Get the swords back in. This has become a real mess. Karl, come on, get out. You're not fighting, so get involved somewhere. You guys aren't fighting, so get involved somewhere. Alright, we're getting some focus fire on the mage now, which is really good news. See how crazy this is. The problem with Chaos is that a lot of them have armor, but they're not very good at getting charged in the rear, as you can see, because the Reichsguard have just made a real mess of all of them. And that should be enough. It looks like it is enough. No, it's still going. There we go. Okay, much messier than it could have been. Pretty awful, to be honest, actually, but you get the idea. For this one, when you're fighting the Chaos, it's up in the north, in Nordland territory. When you're doing this quest battle, the main thing is basically to hold this line here, and just keep in mind that the last little flank is going to cause you some problems. And the first wave you can actually wipe out without using any of your horsemen, but the rest, the horsemen become quite important, especially for the very last wave. So holding a flat line is kind of more important, and I forgot there were 3 waves actually, so that's why I moved all of the spearmen etc. in for the second one, whereas normally I would have left it until the last wave. Anyway, a Pyrrhic victory, but a victory is a victory in this case. We lost a good half the army, but yeah, we managed to wipe out everybody, so overall, not so bad. Just could have done better at the very end, basically. But there we go. There's a quest battle really badly carried out, but still. If you would like to see some quest battles where I'll actually try and play it first and see what works, I guess, and try and give some better tips as opposed to just standing there and getting smacked, then there's quite a lot of them, and I'm quite happy to try all of them. And let me know if this is something that you'd like to see. That's all for this one. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see more Total War soon, I hope. Bye bye for now.